Hello fight fans, in today's news, Joe Rogan gives his thoughts on Khamzat Chimaev versus Robert Whittaker. Chris Weidman addresses eye pokes after his controversial win. GSP shares a scary close call with a gorilla. Chael Sonnen believes UFC will feed Strickland to Nickal. Joe Rogan recently shared his thoughts on the upcoming fight between Khamzat Chimaev and Robert Whittaker. He believes this bout will be a real challenge for Khamzat, as Whittaker is more dangerous than anyone he's faced before. Here is what he had to say.
This one, Whittaker versus Khamzat Chimaev in Saudi Arabia, that one is gonna be fucking wild. That's a wild one. That is a wild fight. Bro, Whittaker versus Khamzat is legit. That's a real fight. That's a real fight for Khamzat because Whittaker's a big dude. He's a big, beefy 185, former champion. Both guys started at 170. That's a real 185er as opposed to, like, you know, they gave him Kamaru Usman, and Kamaru didn't have a chance to prepare for that. He had 10 days. You know, that's not enough time. I mean, I don't know what kind of shape he was in. Couldn't really test.
He's always in shape.
But famously, Kamaru has bad knees, like real bad knees. So I don't know how hard he was training and whether or not he prepares. Like maybe he only sacrifices his knees during training. I don't know. But I know he was winning in the third round. I mean, Kamaru, if that was a 5-round fight, who knows how the fuck that fight would have went. And, you know, obviously Kamaru's world championship caliber, the best welterweight of all time by most people's accounts. And you know, it's not enough time. Not enough time to get a guy like that to prepare for Khamzat. But at least we got a chance to see what Khamzat looks like against a world-class, world championship caliber fighter.
Chris Weidman weighed in on his controversial win against Bruno Silva last week. Even though he won the fight, he received a lot of backlash from fans criticizing him for repeatedly poking his opponent in the eye. Here is what he had to say about it.
I'll never question a guy if he's saying he gets poked in the eye, but you can't just drop every time you feel like something's touching your eyeball. You know, he poked me in the eye bad one time, and I stood there, took it. Unless the ref's going to say something, I don't drop. You know, I come from a wrestling background. It's a similar thing. You can't look to the ref for things. They're not going to help you. Sometimes it's going to go against you. You got to be always ready to defend yourself at all times. And you know, he dropped again. I don't know. Like, I was looking for a way out. I don't know. But that, like, you can't just turn your back and fall to the ground every time that your eyeball feels poked. Did I want to poke him in the eye? No, I'm unhappy that I poked him in the eye. But when you're fighting with these small gloves on, man, it kind of just happens, man. It's not like if I had what it takes to think about getting my finger in his eyeball, why would I even do that? I'd just be able to put my fist right on his chin every time I wanted. You know what I mean? It's harder than you think to be like, I'm going to eye poke this guy.
George's St-Pierre recently shared a scary story where he was chased by a gorilla.
I have a funny story. I actually got chased by a silverback gorilla. I was in Rwanda. I did gorilla trekking. And we have a guide that was with us. He's with the same family of gorilla every day. And he told us the rules. So if a gorilla look at you or a silverback, you don't look at him. You don't eat in front of him. You don't take flash photo. And if he comes towards you, don't run away. Just get out of the way and make yourself in a submissive pose. And that's what happened. He looked at me, he went towards me, and I get out of the way and I put my knees on the floor like this. And I was like, man, I was like, please, please. And then I look, he's not in front of me. Then I look behind, I see him, he put his back like this. And he looked under his arm, and man, I'm gonna tell you something, I was like this. And you see, when you look on TV, a gorilla, and when you see one live, it's very different. I could see his muscle definition through the fur. I was like, shit. And he looked under his arm, and then the guide gave me the hand and kind of rescued me, but it was just a test. And he told me that the reason why he turned his back to me, it was because he wanted to show me how much not of a threat I am for him. I'm gonna give you my most vulnerable position to show you that you can do nothing.
Chael Sonnen came with an interesting take on what's next for Strickland. According to Sonnen, there is a big chance that the UFC can match Strickland against Nickal to build up the new star and propel him into the top 3 to challenge the champion.
Nickal is on the main card of 300 for a reason. None of us fully know what that reason is, but we also do understand is to shine up a tremendous prospect. And at some point, like everybody, that prospect has to be given that guy with the right number next to his name. So somebody is going to get the call to do this for Bo. And that is one of my guesses for Strickland. And those are very opposite guesses. On one hand, he's going to be the guy used to bring up the guy that has very clearly got his push behind him, but he's not quite sure what to do with it. Versus Strickland has been assured and reaffirmed of his value, of his worth, of his ranking, of where he stands, and is going to be a backup fighter. I understand the separation, but I do maintain, I believe I'm right.
And that wraps today's news. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to hit the like button and smash the subscribe bell to stay in the loop. Keep supporting the sport, and we will see you in the next one.